Sup, bitches. When you're a kid with unsupervised internet access, you tend to find some interesting stuff. And what I found interesting back then were internet reviewers. People who talked about movies, comics, music, and the topic of today's video, games. I always had a soft spot for video game reviewers of the past. I don't hate people who make video game reviews nowadays, but there's no topping what came beforehand.
In this mode, your goal is to go crazy and shit up like a special needs rancor.
So I'm going to talk about some video game reviewers that still stick in my mind, whether for good reasons or not.
The angry video game nerd.
What can I say about this guy that hasn't already been done 50 billion times on the internet by now? Without the angry video game nerd, internet personalities probably wouldn't exist at all. Without this guy, I probably wouldn't even be making the video that you're watching right now. With James Rolfe actually having the ability to edit at the time, this series proved that it was more than just a guy talking about crappy video games. I still remember the first video that I watched from him being the Bugs Bunny birthday blow-up one.
Oh my god, it's Bugs Bunny!
Yeah. What's up, Doc?
I can't believe it, in my own house, it's Bugs Bunny! Bugs fucking Bunny! Ugh, ugh.
You know, the one where he beats the shit out of Bugs Bunny and also literally takes the shit on him. I'm always happy to know that the man that's usually behind the kooky characters that show up in Angry Video Game Nerd is always Mike Matei. The only thing that people really remember about Mike Matei besides working on Angry Video Game Nerd is that infamous brown bricks in Minecraft video.
Well, anything really. Like, there's one guy that built a scale model of the Starship Enterprise.
My deduction skills as a detective tell me he has quite possibly never had sex.
There's so much to that guy behind the scenes that you're better off doing your own research because I'm here to talk about the Angry Video Game Nerd. If you ask me what my favorite episode of Angry Video Game Nerd is, it's actually the 2-part Castlevania series he did. It's probably the earliest example that I have seen of a retrospective series. Retrospectives are still a very common thing that you see online, so it's fun to kind of look at this as the first one. And honestly, going back and watching these old Angry Video Game Nerd videos, I still really enjoy them. Are they the best content that you'll find online? Probably not. But it's fun to think of this guy pretty much making an entire series just in his basement. He even has his own cast of characters that shows up in a lot of these reviews. Characters such as the Glitch Gremlin, Super Mecha Death Christ 2000 BC version 4.0 beta,
Holy shit!
What's that fucking language?
and Shit Pickle.
Tell them your name.
Shit pickle.
Yeah, this is Shit Pickle.
Shit pickle.
And
Shit pickle.
Shit Pickle's gonna...
Shit pickle.
They even made the guy who made his theme song a character on the show. His character is literally just a guy behind his couch that is constantly pissed off. You know, I was always impressed with how much effort that they put in their videos that I was super excited when they announced a Angry Video Game Nerd movie. It proceeded to come out and became the worst movie that I have ever seen in my entire life, and I'm not joking. Please do me a favor and never watch this movie. Trust me. And after that movie came out, that's when I dropped off this series. Something about these new videos just don't hit the same as the old ones do. Maybe it's because he has a budget now, I guess. I am aware that Mike Matei actually did a lot of writing for the old AVGN episodes, so maybe that's why I don't like the newer ones as much. It's crazy that the guy who wrote for a series that I love very much is also the same guy that got angry at a Sesame Street movie.
Elmo sucks. Elmo's a piece of shit. Elmo has no self-confidence. Elmo's gonna fucking blow his fucking brains away with this gun.
Even though I don't like the newer videos and the movie that much, I still have a lot of respect for James Rolfe. It's very respectable for a guy making amateur films to be able to make a feature-length picture. So even though the content he makes is not my cup of tea, I hope he continues making it if he likes doing it. However, with the birth of the Angry Video Game Nerd came a lot of copycats. And our next topic is probably the most infamous. The Irate Gamer. What can I say about this guy? No, for real, what can I say about this guy that hasn't already been said?
Come on, can't we at least go back to the 6 original shapes? How freaking cool would that be? Face it,
Breakfast is ruined.
Chris Boris is one of the earliest examples of a clone on the internet. And it's not one of those examples of somebody taking inspiration from another creator. No, this guy was literally a clone of the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Cowabunga. Cow a fucking piece of dog shit. What a piece of cowabunga shit!
I can't really blame him for ripping off the Angry Video Game Nerd because it clearly got him popular, and I guess it was worth it for him in the end. There was a time that this man was the most hated person on the internet. It's really funny looking back at it because there are people on the internet that do way worse shit than he could ever do. Unlike with James, where I got introduced to his content through the Angry Video Game Nerd, the Irate Gamer was not the first series that I saw from Chris Boris. That would be the series Irate the 80s. It was pretty much just its informational show that talks about different topics from the 1980s. It was really cool to me as a kid just seeing what stuff was popular back in this time that I never lived through. Now, if I watch this series today, I'd probably not be as enthusiastic about it.
Just give me a light. I meant a Bud Light. Oh boy.
Eventually, I would end up watching the Irate Gamer series, and even though I knew to myself that this was just diet Angry Video Game Nerd, I still really enjoyed it. What can I say? I was a real dumbass kid. Watching Irate Gamer videos in the modern day is definitely an experience. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, I do not like these. However, they are extremely funny to me.
And we just happen to have one for our special guest today. Hey, Tony.
Yeah, bang-a-lang.
So, what do you think of this game?
It's terrible. I wipe my ass with it.
Well, there you go.
Even though I don't really like these videos, I can't deny that Chris Boris clearly had fun making them. Like, despite the fact that this is clearly an AVGN ripoff, Chris put a shit ton of effort into them when it comes to editing and all that. Chris Boris, just like James Rolfe, is clearly a very talented filmmaker. Too bad we don't got an Irate Gamer movie. Maybe it would have been better than the AVGN movie. But other than that, I don't really have much to say about the Irate Gamer and Chris Boris. Despite all the controversy involving his character, I'd actually say that he's doing pretty well for himself now. I mean, he's done tons of content outside of the Irate Gamer. Obviously, I mentioned Irate the 80s, but he also, for some reason, did like content for children in the form of Puppet Steve. I had like no idea this existed until making this video.
Alright, kids, stand back. Time for Puppet Steve to do his magic. And a 1 and a 2. You think good to make a plan? Ta-da! What do you think there, Zombie Steve? Cool.
But if we actually look at his main channel, you can see that he's doing a lot of ghost and paranormal stuff. In fact, he was actually on the news for that. And he even recently did a documentary about the Chris Chan medallion.
The Sonic Chew medallion necklace has been causing quite a stir online recently to reach the level of creepypasta status. Rumors are swirling that wearers of the Sonic Chew are now succumbing to the curse that also took down the creator.
But when it comes to content that he's made recently, I don't hear as many people talk about his podcast. Not because it's an actual good podcast, but solely because of the people that he's able to get on. Jon Favreau, Todd McFarlane, fucking Michael C. Hall and Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter.
Hey Barbie, how'd you like to suck my cock? Or not?
Despite my criticisms about the guy, he's just doing whatever the hell he wants to do. And you know what, I can't really blame him. So let's move on to our next creator.
JonTron.
Before we start, I think I should get this out of the way first. I am well aware of the things JonTron has said, and I do not condone them. Unlike the Irate Gamer, where I can just ignore his controversies, the things that John has said are way more heinous and hard to ignore. I mean, I find it kind of funny solely because it's goddamn JonTron saying it, but for now on, the rest of the video, I'm only going to mention it when it's important to our little story we're telling here. We good? We good. So anyway, JonTron.
Hey everyone! Isn't it such a beautiful feeling?
Not the way, asshole!
Jesus!
JonTron, funny enough, actually started off as just another angry video game nerd clone with his Diet Katana review.
Eventually, this guy stops dicking around and opens the door to the longest and most boring intro cutscene I have ever seen in my whole life.
I'm not exaggerating to make this funny. This is as bad as it gets.
It wouldn't be until later when he kept on making videos that he started to kind of create his own style. His sense of humor is very specific, and as a kid, I ate that shit up.
Jock, come here. I want to show you. I'm playing a game based on my favorite Greek legend, Heracles.
What also helped his channel is that he didn't exclusively talk about bad video games. Hell, he didn't even just talk about video games, he also talked about movies and other stuff. And honestly, despite how I feel about him as a person, I can respect that he just does whatever the hell he wants. You never know what you're gonna get with him. One time he might be talking about the Home Improvement game on Super Nintendo, and the next minute he'll be reminiscing about the Goosebumps TV show from the 90s. He was so popular back in the day that he was able to do his own side projects. He did narration for channels such as Did You Know Gaming. He got to do a Star Wars review series actually sponsored by Disney. And of course, his biggest project outside of JonTron is Game Grumps, which was a Let's Play channel that he did with his friend Aaron Hansen, aka Ego Raptor. And there was never any controversy involving that channel at all. Ever.
Hey, I'm Grump. People like me are supposed to listen to people like you chatter on about this oppression in America. It doesn't exist. Wealthy blacks also commit more crime than poor whites. That's a fact. Yeah, look it up.
Besides recollecting on all this stuff that he's done, what do I actually think of his videos in a modern day? I mean, they're alright, I guess. Okay, maybe that's a bit too harsh, especially with the quality of my videos on this channel. I shouldn't really be judging, because John clearly also, like the other two creators, put a shit ton of effort into these, and I can definitely respect that. I guess more so how I feel about JonTron videos in the modern day is that I don't find them as funny as I used to. Largely, I believe that it is my sense of humor kind of changing, so I don't really find his older videos that funny anymore. Now, just because I don't find them very funny anymore doesn't mean that I'm still not entertained by them, because John does have a natural charisma to him. So even though I'm not raffle-coptering like I used to when I was a kid watching his videos, I still enjoy watching him. Now, am I a bad person for giving views towards somebody that I don't like? I don't know, you be the judge of that. What I definitely don't watch though are his recent videos. I just don't really care about the topics he tackles in them. I stopped watching JonTron not after the controversy, but just because of the topics that he talked about, mainly because I was a really edgy kid. Like, I'm sorry, I don't really give a shit about Goop or the KFC conspiracy or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure that his newer videos are good to some people, but I don't know. I just really don't care about them. But I'm all about giving things a fair shot, so why don't I just watch one of his newest videos? Yeah, I still have the same opinion that it's just okay. I'm gonna end this segment simply saying this. If you watch JonTron's content now, all power to you. I do not care. If you disagree with what I said about JonTron, that's fair. That's your opinion. This entire video has just been my opinion on these creators. So let's move on to a creator that I have slightly more positive things to say about. Peanut Butter Gamer. Let me just say this first about him. His username definitely came from 2009.
Man, I'm bored. What can I do that's fun? I know. Kill some people!
Peanut Butter Gamer, or PBG for short, is probably my favorite creator that I have talked about today. Largely because he's the only creator that I actually still watch to this day. He has definitely done a great job at changing his content up while still feeling like himself in the modern day. But let's step back and look at some of his older videos. I got introduced to him thanks to his top 10 videos because I was obsessed with watching them and hearing other people's opinions on topics. But the thing is that I don't watch top 10s at all anymore, you know, especially with how oversaturated they are. I'm looking at you, Watch Mojo. But Peanut Butter Gamer always has some really interesting topics he'd pick for these videos, at least from the perspective of child me. You've got top 10 jerks in video games, top 10 alien Easter eggs in video games, and who could forget top 5 gambling in video games. And the unique topics that he talked about in his top 10s also bled into his content in general. I've mentioned in the past multiple times on my fascination with horror. So one of my other favorite series that PBG has done is the G-Files. There's only like 9 videos of it, but I still really enjoyed it and loved the topics that they talked about, mainly when it came to the creepypastas. But of course, the main thing that he's known for are his video game reviews. And also being the co-founder of Normal Boots, which I completely forgot to mention on the JonTron section. TLDR was a group of video game content creators that worked together, and also never had any controversy involving them whatsoever. Definitely. One of my favorite videos from him as a kid was his Hey You Pikachu review. That shit had me rolling on the floor laughing or whatever.
Today Oak has a test for me, and what's that test? Battle a wild Pokemon with Pikachu? Go on an epic adventure with Pikachu? Climb to the top of Mount Everest with Pikachu? No, none of those fun-sounding things. We're going to talk to Pikachu. Just talk, maybe over a nice candlelight dinner. It'll be charming.
And I can't forget about how he dedicated November to talking about Zelda stuff in the aptly titled Zelda Month. I know, very creative. I always liked The Legend of Zelda when I was a kid, but these videos definitely made me appreciate the series more than I used to. He'd also include a lot of musical elements into his videos. Whether or not you consider these masterpieces are completely up to you. Here's my personal favorite.
Yeah, 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 Ghost Ride the Whip. Hey, 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 Ghost Ride the Whip, yeah!
As for the humor that he includes in a lot of his videos, I don't find them as funny, obviously, because I'm not a kid anymore. But as I said, with JonTron, PBG was very charismatic, and it kept me interested in watching his videos still.
Wait, peanut butter? Cannibal.
As I said, unlike the other creators in this video, I still from time to time watch Peanut Butter Gamer videos, whether it's his old stuff or his newer stuff. Recently, he even made his own video about the angry video game nerd, and I thought it was really well done. Right now, he's currently in his arc where he's just kind of making whatever kind of video he wants now that he's older, and I can really respect that. And unlike with JonTron, it's actually stuff that I give a shit about, so that's nice. I'm not trying to make it be like PBG is just better JonTron, because they are both distinct, and I understand why people, like JonTron, obviously. These are just, once again, my opinions. The last thing that I will mention is the fact that he's made so many videos about the TV show Arthur that he even got an official collaboration figure with Arthur. And I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty cool. I could only dream about collaborating with a franchise that I love. Konami? Silent Hill collab when? Yeah, probably not anytime soon. So in conclusion, I really enjoy PBG still to this day, and I actually recommend you watch his newer stuff if you haven't watched him in a while. It's still entertaining to this day. So those are all the content creators I feel like talking about. Originally, I was going to talk about the completionist in this video as well, but there's some legal issues involving that guy, and I don't want to talk about him until it's resolved. It's interesting looking back at a lot of these creators and seeing how they've changed and how I've changed as a person. What I used to love back then is not really what I love right now. Don't get me wrong, there's still things that I loved as a child that I still hold dear to my heart, but when you grow up, things change. Hell, these content creators have changed, both in their content themselves and in their lives. Some of these guys even have families that they gotta take care of, and this is more of a job to them. But in the end, I'm glad that they're still creating content, and I'm glad that people still enjoy their stuff. And if these guys want to continue making content, all for them, and I hope they do continue. Except for JonTron.